Hey guys, Dr. Tobisch here again with Whitefish Chiropractic, and this is going to be our second video on heel pain. In the first video, I talked about plantar fascia problems, so if you haven't seen that one, go back and check it out. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about a separate condition that can basically perfectly mimic a plantar fascia problem, and that's a lumbar spine radiculopathy, which is just a fancy way of saying that the nerve that comes out of your low back runs all the way down your leg and into your heel. If that nerve is being irritated and compressed at the low back before it runs down your leg, it could produce basically the exact same symptoms as a plantar fascia problem. So I have a little model here to kind of show what's going on. So if this is going on and that disc material is pushing into the nerve, you would think that you would feel symptoms all the way down the back of the leg and maybe into the heel. And a lot of times that is the case, but it's not always so simple and straightforward. Because like I said, this condition can basically perfectly mimic plantar fasciitis. So that person can have their disc material pushing into that nerve, but rather than having symptoms all the way down the back of their leg, they just have the same symptoms as someone with a plantar fascia problem. So they have sharp stabbing pain under the heel in their first couple steps in the morning. After prolonged sitting, they can even have tenderness and irritation to touch or palpation of that exact same area. But if that patient has a lumbar spine radiculopathy and they think that they have plantar fasciitis, well, you can treat the heel and the plantar fascia all day long, but if the problem is coming from your low back, you're not going to get anywhere. And that's why testing is so important. So next up, I'm going to show you some simple tests that you can do at home to see whether your symptoms are coming from your low back, or that first video will give you an idea of if it's actually a plantar fascia problem. So once we do good testing and get some answers there, after that, I'll show you some exercises that you can do at home to start treating the root of the problem. All right, guys, the first test we're going to look at for these lumbar spine radiculopathies is going to be something that we call the slump test. With this test, we're going to be rounding or slumping the low back while we put tension on that nerve that runs down the back of the leg towards your heel. We're going to see if this reproduces your symptoms. So to get set up, you're just going to get a bench, a couch, something that you could extend your leg on comfortably. Toss your bad leg up there. Next, like I said, we're going to slump or we're going to round the low back. So legs nice and straight. We're going to round the low back, and then we're going to tuck the chin down to the chest. After that, we'll maintain that position. Pull your toes up towards your face. So we're putting tension on that nerve that runs down the back of the leg. So you'll get basically into this position. And like I said, we're going to see, does that reproduce your symptoms? If it does, it's highly unlikely that the plantar fascia in your heel is what's actually causing your pain. Second test that we're going to look at is a flexion compression test. And if you remember this little model where we were showing the disc material pushing backwards into the nerve, that's basically what we're trying to replicate here. So get a chair where you can grab onto the sides. From there, you're basically just going to slump or round the low back again, grab onto the sides of the chair and pull down pretty hard. Create quite a bit of compression. You can hold that position for 10 to 12 seconds. And just like the first test, we want to see, does this reproduce your symptoms? Also, after you get up to walk after that test, does that reproduce the symptoms in your heel? Next up, we're going to talk about what we need to do to treat and take care of these lumbar spine radiculopathies. First thing is we need to do something to take pressure off of that nerve root. Second, we need to be super conscious of our posture so we're not sitting slumped and slouched all the time and just reproducing our symptoms. The last thing is we need a way to move this nerve up and down so that it can move more freely down its trail. So the first thing we're going to look at is how we take pressure off that nerve. And we're going to do that by extending our low back. So we're going to get into this position, flat on our belly, propped up on your forearms like a little kid watching TV. So get here, just hang out and relax. Breathe into your belly, let your hips and belly sag. Hang out here for 3 to 4 minutes. After that, once things kind of settle down, we want to get even more extension in the low back. So to do that, we're going to do a prone press up. So you can leave your hips down. It's basically an upper body push up. So get the hands right under the shoulders. Then next, you're going to push up, lock the elbows out, blow out your breath, then come back down. I'd shoot for a set of 10 on those. You can do those 3 to 4 times a day. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you or anybody you know has been dealing with some heel pain, watch these videos, do the tests, and plug in the right exercises. See if you can get rid of your heel pain. If you've been doing the right exercises and that pesky heel pain just won't budge, we would love to help. So give us a call at 406-862-2121 or find us online at whitefishchiropracticcenter.com to schedule your appointment today.